All right, welcome back to the Elias Macko Show. It is the second hour of the program. We're with you straight through until noon. Now, one former sovereignist who voted yes in the 1995 referendum is considering running as leader of the Quebec Liberal Party. Nicolas Tétrault states that the question of independence no longer an issue for him. And he's got some other interesting ideas when it comes to the Quebec Liberal Party. And Nicolas Tétrault is in studio. Monsieur Tétrault, welcome. Bienvenue.
Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. It's a great pleasure to be on your show, Mr. Macko.
So, listen, we were just talking in the break here. I learned you have 6 children. God bless you. That's amazing. But just, I think for a lot of our listeners, they probably have never heard of you. So give our listeners, what do listeners need to know about Nicolas Tétrault?
First off, I'd just like to wish my wife, Melissa Marinelli, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. The best lady in the world. We have 6 children. We live in the West Island. And to everyone that's listening, and especially the ones who are alone on this day, hopefully you'll fall in love soon.
Oh my man, you really are a politician. You're covering all the bases. Those with love, those without love.
My wife's Italian. You have no idea. Okay, so that being said, I'm from the West Island. I was born, raised, and brought up. Yes, I ran for the Parti Québécois at the age of 19, but I was always a very soft separatist, or I was mostly a nationalist. When at that time, 50% of the people mostly voted yes at the referendum a gazillion years ago. Yeah. How many referendums do we need to do? I mean, there were 2 already, and I think sovereignty is a non-issue, and I think Canada is one of the best countries in the world. Some people are a bit deceived or have lost faith because of some politics in Quebec, but also in Ottawa. But I think that these policies can be changed. And politicians or prime ministers or premiers, they're not there forever. Yeah. And I think it's time for new blood, new ideas. And I think Quebec is going nowhere. We can see that. I dare anybody on air to find 5 or 6 countries in the world that pay more direct tax and indirect tax in total. You can't just say the income tax. Take all of the basket of taxes in Quebec. And we're the most taxed in the world, yet our services are simply going down the hill, down the drain.
So listen, let me tell you something. I'm with you that people change, especially the 1990s to today. Yeah. Everyone has different views than what they held 30 years ago. So to me, to hear that, hey, yeah, maybe you ran for the PQ. That's not you anymore. I believe you.
We evolve. I love my country with all my heart. Do I like all of Trudeau's policies? Absolutely not. Yeah. But I love my people. I love my country, and I think we can. Quebec, Canada offers the best of both worlds. A bit like Switzerland. Switzerland's a multinational country with different languages. I have a master's degree in political science. I won't go too far in that. But I mean, long story short, the way that the separation of powers work in Quebec, what true powers? Let's be honest. What true powers do Quebec lack within Canada? I mean, we're in charge of our economy, of our education, of our health, of our cities. I mean, what do you want more? Foreign representation to manage CSIS? No, I wouldn't want Quebec to manage CSIS or the army. Yeah. I mean, what more? What's missing in our basket of powers in Quebec? I don't think we're missing anything.
So, listen, I didn't know what to expect this morning. I just didn't know, right? Because we never talked before.
Yeah.
So far, I got to say, I'm pleasantly surprised with the energy that you're bringing to the table this morning. It will take a lot of energy to run for the leadership of the Quebec Liberal Party. So where are you? Like, is it happening for sure? You're still trying to get support? Where are you in that?
I'm a person that's very, very honest, and I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this because I have 6 children, and I find that Quebec is going really in a negative way. Like just finding a doctor is super complicated, and we'll talk about that later on. But that being said, I'm an outsider, and the Liberal Party of Quebec, to be able to win power again, needs le choc des idées, needs new ideas, needs someone that can go debate with François Legault or the head of Parti Québécois. I can debate with any of them, Québec Solidaire, in English or in French. And I think I would honestly defeat them in any debate you bring. But I love the people, and I know all the regions, and the next election is crucial. It's the fight between status quo, and I find that the PQ and Québec Solidaire and the CAQ, they represent status quo. immobilism. I don't know if you say it in English perfectly. Stagnation, exactly. And I want to bring a change. The only way to fix Quebec is not to put a Band-Aid on cancer. You need to address the real issues structurally, and for maybe one election, try to push partisan politics a bit aside. Have a term that will be more inclusive and bring everyone that wants to change into a room.
Speaking of that, one of the ideas I think you're broaching is perhaps some sort of, alliance, partnership with Eric Duhem and his Conservative Party.
Yeah,
why?
I already spoke with him. I think, and I'm the difference between me, if you want, an outsider and new blood. It's also arithmetics, and I'm also a political scientist. So I analyze the platform of each party, and I think if you look historically, the Liberal Party of Quebec before Mrs. Anglade was more right to center, was more for individual freedoms, protecting respecting the Charter of Freedom and Rights and our civil liberties. And the Conservative Party of Quebec is like a reform Liberal Party. If you think about it, remove maybe 10-15% of the craziness in it. There's a way to, I think, I know I should not have talked about it, but honestly, I've had these discussions with them. Yeah. But the first things, I need to win this leadership race. Yeah. Does the Liberal Party of Quebec need the Conservative Party of Quebec? Absolutely not. I think it's more reverse. But if on dit en français, l'espace d'un moment, just for one term, if we can try to bring the forces of change together to implement a solid change, not a cosmetic change, then it will be able for everybody to dream of better days.
What's interesting is that Eric Duhem has been on this show many times, and every interview I say, can you just get rid of the 10 to 15% crazy? I've said that to him, right? Just get rid of that. Go a little bit more towards the center. Coderre. There's a big name. He's in it. He said he's saying something that's quite similar, because he says the Liberal Party has gone too far to the left. Kind of sort of what you're saying as well. So your thoughts on Coderre? He's got the name.
Well, Coderre, I know him personally, and Duhem, I know both of them personally, and honestly, I get along with both of them extremely well. Mm-hmm. I know they have to protect their race and their party, but I'm not the most partisan person. I want my province to work for the greater benefit of everyone. Mm-hmm. So Mr. Coderre, at the last municipal election, I helped him for free hundreds of hours in Pierrefonds Borough, and we won between 60 and 70% of the vote, because I feel that at the City of Montreal, we do have a serious problem at the head of the City of Montreal. Now, that being said, I feel that if the young people want, and everybody who's fed up with the stagnation or the decline of Quebec, they have two choices. An old wine in a new bottle, it's still going to be the same, still going to be Denis Coderre. And I'm not saying he's a bad person. I honestly have a good relationship with this person, and I like this person. But I think, again, the difference between me and him is he will put a Band-Aid on a cancer, where I will try to cure the cancer, find the cause of the cancer, and attack it. And there's a big difference between cosmetic change and real and true change.
I think radio, and on radio we always have time limits. You mentioned healthcare before, and that you wanted to talk about this. So maybe to wrap up here today, I'm sure first of many conversations, but what is policy platform? What is something that you want to mention to our listeners today, and is it healthcare at the top of that list?
Well, there's 3 or 4 things that I want to do. I really want to freeze the taxation for everyone, and if I can even reduce taxation on essential things for citizens like Hydro-Quebec. Why should they be burdened with an extra 15% of tax? It's already a government service. It's one example. A cell phone, everybody needs that today. Why are we imposing that? Like Quebec government is forcing us to have winter tires. Why are we paying 15% taxes? We have to give more money back to the people. Freeze the taxes, freeze the employment in Quebec. I want to implement, honestly, anti-corruption laws. I want to have a parliament that puts pushes aside all the concepts and the negatives of the British parliamentary system, where you're always fighting. And I'm tired of the population, honestly, being divided all the time because of this system that forces you to fight. So if we have more free votes in the National Assembly, we'll have more ideas brought forward. And lastly, I would like to also give true powers to a member of the provincial parliament, because honestly, all they can do is vote laws. If you give them a true power on the public servants, then all the doors and the people they shake hands with, at least they're the ones who have their feet on the ground and are listening to the what the people want. So give them some power to take some decisions on the machine.
Just on healthcare, where are you on the public-private? Where should we go in this province on healthcare?
And that's the best question ever, because if you listen to politicians, they always say we have a public system, right? But you see it everywhere. Private clinics everywhere. I'll give you one example. One of my best friends, doctor, I'm going to name him, former surgery teacher at McGill in urology. So he was working before teaching in McGill. He was working in New York City. He could operate 6 to 8 patients per week, whereas in Quebec, 2 to 3. The same patients, the same types of cancer on the patients. But why is that? There's too much red tape. There's so many inefficacies. I'll give you an example. He had to write long reports himself, but the surgeon is at 300, 400,000 a year. Why don't we hire a secretary, male or female, to do the paperwork for 2 or 3 or 4 surgeons? Why are you forcing them to fill out all these forms where they can operate 2 to 3 times more? This is one example of the intricate inefficacies of the medical system.
I see you've got a campaign manager with you, so the campaign, it's happening. This is you are. Can we say this is it? You are running.
I am running. The only issue I am facing, and I'll be very honest, I want to run. I want to help this society with all my heart and all my intelligence, and gathering the best of people around me for the people. The issue I'm facing, I'm seen as an outsider. But the Liberal Party, that's what they need. They need new blood. They need someone like me who can attack and get tons of memberships from the Conservative Party of Quebec, that can get tons of members from the Parti Québécois and from the CAQ. A lot of members of the CAQ are so fed up, Elias, in Parliament, they can't even talk.
Nicolas Tétrault, I think you have introduced yourself quite well to our listeners. Perhaps the first of many conversations. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Nicolas Tétrault, you heard him right there, considering that run for leadership of the Quebec Liberal Party.